used to get mad about the way I put the dishwasher to pieces.
No, because I'm saying like this is what we used to do. Like we wouldn't say anything, and Chris is like, well, if you just tell me and I just do it, then it doesn't need to like lead to an argument. So the dishwasher was an example, like. Or like leaving dishes out. Chris would always leave his dishes out, but because he was already so angry about other things in life, when I would be like, hey, can you just make sure that you put your dishes in the sink at least, it would be like, oh, stop nagging me, oh, get off my back. Like it would just be like, you know, where it should have just been okay, yeah, whatever.
I mean it both ways now. Like there's certain things in life that just aren't worth it. They're just not worth it. Like stupid stuff like, oh, I really want that t-shirt washing. Well, I'll wash it my bloody self if I want it clean that much, you know? Like, I won't wait for you to do it, and I won't be mad if you don't do it. Like, it's just these little things that people, like, inevitably fight about because the little things mount up. Like, 10 different little things equate to one big thing. Just chop the little things away to the side. Like, it's not gonna make a big difference. So what if I want to put my clothes there? So what if I think this should be done this way? Like, if it's a big deal, like... If it was something like, oh, I just went in the savings account and spent $10,000 and I didn't tell you, then yeah, that's a problem, you know? But if it's like, oh, I put the cups in the wrong cupboard, like, that's not a problem. That's a quick fix. In fact, that's a funny thing. That's like okay, the idiot put them in the wrong cupboard, put them up there. But like, you gotta, I guess the
pick
tip
and choose.
Yeah, the tip I'm trying to get to is realize what matters and what doesn't. What is worth the fight and what's not. And you can make your life a hell of a lot easier. Like, I barely bring things up now anymore just because, well, mainly I'm lazy now and I don't like to fight in general. So is Kay. She doesn't like to fight, but it's more so the fact, like, I just know it's not worth it. Like, I know that something being somewhere that I don't want it to be, like, that's not worth the argument. Just pick it up and move it. Change it on my own. Like, and but that's not to say you shouldn't talk about things that are a big deal. Like the example I just made was, if I had spent $10,000 out of the savings and I didn't tell you, that's a big deal. Then you should have all the right to be angry. But if I go ahead and just decide, this is where this goes now, like, and you're not happy with it, that's not a problem.
Well, and I think, and that's the other thing. I think a lot of things, like, a lot of fights come from little things that are not that they don't matter. They do matter, but it should just be a conversation. It doesn't need to turn into an argument, which is where we struggled with a lot in the beginning. And, I just totally lost my train of thought about the next point I was going to make. When we would argue, we argued two different ways. Like, I get to a point and I'm like, I need to walk away or else this is going to go to the completely next level. Huh? And Chris just wants to continue talking. Like, he will talk it to death. And I am like, we don't communicate the same way. Like, if we were both talkers, or if we both needed to talk through our problems, it would probably work for us. Or if we were both like, all right, we're at our stopping point, we just need to like let it go before this gets worse, and we both walk away at the same time. But like, that's not how it ever goes. Like, I always want to stop because I feel myself like getting ready to lose it. And then Chris just has to keep going. And then boom, we would have an argument. So I think now we do a better job at like trying to at least have some like compromise. Yeah, like, I try to talk more. I try to like stay calm for longer and try to like communicate. And then I think Chris now tries to be like, okay, she's getting to the point, like, let's just drop it, even though like he probably doesn't want to drop it and he wants to keep talking, but like he can, like, you know.
Yeah, I think we're much better at it. I think we, like you said, compromise is the perfect word there. Like, you'll let me say what needs to be said and give me a response that I need to hear, and then for the most part, when you're like, all right, I'm done, like, then it's done. Like, we'll come back to it at a later date, or we'll just move on, you know. Like, yeah. So, but at the beginning, it has to be one way or the other, and neither of us were willing to budge on it. We're both pretty stubborn. I think that we both want it done our ways, like our own way. Yeah. And we used to try and force that upon the other one, but it's not how it works. There's two people in this, you know. Like, it's got to be. There's like two circles, and they cross over. You got to find that middle happy place. Yeah, that
we're definitely both stubborn, and I think we're used to, like, in maybe like previous relationships or previously in life before we came into each other's life, like, we're used to getting things always done a certain way, or like being a certain way in a relationship, which this relationship is different than all of our other relationships. So we had to like learn how to be together.
Yeah. But that can also be flipped on the positive side as well. It's very nice to have a strong wife who is opinionated, for long, I'm not on the opposite side of it. But no, like she's right. In previous relationships, like if I said something, it probably would be done, and I would imagine the same would be said for you. If you said something, probably would have been
Chris
done
like
that way.
Initially would be like, well, I said this, and so why are we not doing this? And I'm like, well, because I don't want to. What are you talking about? You know,
And not bad things either. Just like this is what I want to do, and then usually it would get done. But they're the parts where we get to adjust to each other. But I mean, that's also a positive. Like, I know she's not gonna take shit from nobody else. You know, like if someone wants to talk to her badly, I'm pretty confident that she hold her own in regards to letting them know that that's not acceptable. You know, whereas I've known a lot of other girls prior to Casey that would have just rolled over and died. Just okay, I'm wrong, and that's not attractive. Like
Chris would. Yeah, he in our arguments he would be like, I say it's this way, so why are we still having this argument? You know, like that sort of, not those words exactly, but that was definitely like a thing. You know, like that I wouldn't just like be like, okay, or like let it go.
I'd be like, why is she not just getting on board here? Why is she not just shut up and do it? Like, what's the problem?
Yeah.
And then I realized, oh, she's American.
Yeah.
But that seemed like a little bit of a negative talk. Let's flip the script here. What's the
positives of being married? I think there's a lot of positives, obviously, or people wouldn't be married. But I think, like in our marriage at least, like I never have to worry about like, basically like I trust Chris with everything, you know, so I don't have to be like questioning like or like feel insecure like. I know he has my back all the time. I don't have to worry about like, oh, what is he doing right now? Like, and these might be like different subjects, different areas like of, you know, like, I don't know, marriage, like being like trustworthy, like fidelity wise, and also like with like your like cheating and stuff, right. But also with like your life, you know, like, I don't know how to explain it.
Well, the biggest, I get what you're trying. The biggest positive, and I think can bounce off that for me in this marriage is there's a lot less things that I have to worry about ever in life because I now know that I'm with the person that I want to do everything with. You know, like it makes life easier, much easier, especially considering our dreams pretty much line up in what we're trying to achieve. That's a big positive. Like, it would suck if I was like, oh, Casey, this is what our grand picture, if we were to paint the masterpiece, should look like, and you're like, no, that's not what it is. So thankfully that lines up.
Agreed.
You know?
Yeah, we definitely have. And I think that's why we vibed from the beginning. Like we both had the same like kind of like life goals and like kind of like what we wanted our life to end
always.
Like. What we wanted our life to end like. Like it was kind of like the same plan. Now getting there has been a struggle since day one. And I think that, not to go back to the negative things, but I think being married and having like a young family, that has been hard, like financially. Like we both, I think, could have like not been like stable, you know, but like if you only have to worry about yourself, you know, and like I could have like continued coaching volleyball, you could have been doing whatever you were doing, you know, like we both could have like taken care of ourselves easily.
I was a male escort.
But having to take care of like each other and now the kid, like that is making like the process like harder, you know, but like having somebody with you like makes, like Chris said, it just makes everything easier. Like, I don't know.
And it would be sad. Like, I go to work mornings and nights in this gym that we're currently in right now and training people. It would be sad to come back with no family at this point. And it would be sad to come back with no wife. It would be sad. And not just...
Well, now that, because you know the other side. Yeah.
Yeah. And I just mean, like, at this point in my life, like, there is no appeal at all to go out on a night out to try and find a girl. Like that is the most worst way I could ever think to spend my time right now. Like, not even find a girl, just to go out to peacock around a bar. Like that is the worst. Like
he was good at peacocking, by the way.
Well, look at me. Come on, kid. Why do you think you married me? She's punching. That's what I'm just saying.
Nobody even knows what this means.
People know what punching means.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, and gear people might know, but.
But anyway, yeah, like so just the security. Is that what I'm trying to say?
That's what I was getting to.
Security, like the fact that I know my wife is there. Like she might be at work. I might not see her, but I know she's there. I know it's a big part of my life right now, and like it just is much more comfort. I remember living in Durham, working in a bar, looking forward to going on a night out in the hopes that maybe I would bump into a girl that I could spend some time with and stuff like that. And now, like, and then if you don't, you come home, you go to bed on your own, and it's boring and it's sad, and you repeat this thing for months, for years, and like, it's not appealing. And I wish that I'd had the head on us now that I did when I was 21, because I feel like I just wasted so much of my life in this lifestyle, like, that really amounted to nothing, and nor did it ever accumulate to anything serious or positive. It was always like every experience I had with a girl prior to Casey, I would say ended with a negative. It never ended where it was like cordial, or it was like, oh, we can be friends, or we'll still talk to each other. It was horrible.
So
like
awkward.
it was so bad. And like, then I just look back on it now, and I'm like, look at my life right now, and what we've been able to do as a couple, as a married couple with a small child. We have everything going in the right direction. And I look back sometimes when I'm 20 and 21 and think, what an idiot. Like, why would you go spend $70 on that t-shirt to go out to try and impress somebody? Like, what's that? For, Casey, you'll vouch for this. I don't spend no money on clothes no more. Nothing at all. I got trainers with 3 pairs of holes in that I wear every day.
Yeah. Well, and I think just like always, like, you're never lonely, basically, you know? And not that I was like lonely when I was like single, really, but like now, and like this could be different if you're like a social person, but and this could be like positive or negative, but like me and Chris only hang out with each other pretty much, and so like if you ever want to do something, it's like our relationship is like we always just do it together, you know, like unless it's like there's some things I like and he likes that we don't both like he likes playing music. I don't do anything like with music, but I mean, like, we're like, well, our relationship started as friends, you know, so I think we're like, yeah, well, I mean, after we didn't like each other, then we went to being friends.
Yeah, I think so. Let's drop this up here. I think marriage is hard. Marriage is difficult. You see all these, like, sometimes I'll put on Instagram like family goals, because I really do believe we have family goals. Mm-hmm. But if anyone that writes like marriage goals, they're lying. They're lying. Everybody has problems in their marriage. It's how you deal with them. It's how you move forward. It's how you adjust. And it's what you want with that person. And if you don't want the same things and you're not trying to achieve greatness with that person, then what's the point? You may as well just pack it up and leave it. Like the times when I thought we weren't going to be together, there was always that split moment in my mind where I knew that this wasn't the right choice, because this is the person I want to be with, because the X, Y, and Z. I always knew that it was never actually going to happen. Did I really seriously consider it at certain points that we may not be together? Yes, because you were driving us crazy and I was driving you crazy. But there was always that part that would come, even if it was in the final hour before the decision was about to happen, and I was just like, I can't do it. Like, I don't want to not be with you.
Well, and Chris is always like, why is this so hard?
Yeah,
why is everything so hard?
I prefer a simple life, that's for sure. We have a lot of things that we don't do forward, we do everything backwards. But marriage is hard. Now, don't get into it if you're not willing to put the work in. I'm not going to ever divorce this woman, and I don't think she's ever going to divorce me. I hope not. I can already see in her eyes. She's got the papers ready. But I just don't think one of us is going to die first. That's the only way that we're going to be apart, I'd imagine. And that's probably going to be Case who's going to die first.
And early, too.
Don't say that. But anyway, I just know that if you're with someone who you're willing to go through all of this horse shit with, in order to achieve all the positives that you get with being with someone that you love, then sign the paper, then say I do, then say the vows, then present yourself to everybody as a married couple. But if you don't,
it's not all rainbows and butterflies.
Yeah, if you don't have the commitment or the guts or the balls, even
commitment is the main thing.
Like, and if you're gonna,
I think a lot of people get married and, like, obviously, you know, relationship's going to be work, but if you're not committed 100% to that person, then you're going to have major issues. And we're not on about the sexual side of things. We're on about everything. Like, if she wants to do something, I don't have to. I do support her. And then I have to be committed to that decision. You know, you can't just waver. You can't be like, oh, you can wish you did something different, but you can't change. Which we do a lot.
You can't change the commitment level. If you're committed on one thing, you've got to be committed on everything, or don't be committed at all and get out of it. You know?
Like to having 4 kids.
I committed to 3. Never signed off for 4.
You did.
I probably was tired. That's weird.
All right. Well, we are going to wrap up this podcast. This is a little bit longer because we were all over the place, but we just want to say thank you for listening. If you want to check out our family website, it's www.lovejamesmarie.com. We have our blog on there. We have a shop. We have, I don't know, other things, cool things. And if you want to tune in again, make sure that can you subscribe on iTunes? Subscribe, and if you're watching this via YouTube, subscribe and press the little bell if you want to get notifications.
And if you're watching this by YouTube, I apologize. There's probably going to be a minute or 2 minutes lack of footage right there. I don't know why the camera just turned off.
Okay. All right. So thanks for listening, and we will see you next time. Ciao.